Hi, I'm Angela Nussbaum, and this is my friend Krista Jones. And we are so excited to tell you a little bit about what we've been learning these past few months. Actually, it's been more like a year, but we've been actively engaged in this for the past couple months.
Yeah.
It's been really exciting.
Super exciting. Way fun.
So, this all started, I guess, because I'm a massage therapist and I do a lot of energy work with my clients. And I had a friend come over and I was working on her, and she's like, Angela, I really wish that you could just chakra balance my house like you chakra balance me. And I thought,
Why not?
Why not?
Why can't we do that?
Like, wouldn't that be brilliant to have your home support you in balancing your life? And then I started realizing we've kind of already been doing this.
Yeah.
So I was talking
for
with my
a long
friend.
time. We had been doing this actually
Yeah.
since we've known each other.
So some of you will understand when we say we talk to inanimate objects and they answer back. Some of you won't. So really quick, let's talk about that.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready. So, inanimate objects, right? Since I've known Angela, I've learned a lot. I talk to a lot of inanimate objects, and I never knew I did. Specifically, I have a very specific attachment to, stuffed animals. And they talk back to me all the time. And it's because of things that happened to me when I was little. And the same thing with your car. People name their cars all the time. Constantly, all the time. And it's kind of like you're talking to your car. And then even my husband does this. Don't tell him I told you, but my husband does this with his tools. So.
And what that is, it's not necessarily that they are having a voice and they're speaking to you, but you gain a relationship with them, and it's like they're your best pals and you know what they're going to say even before they say it. I could probably finish Krista's sentences because we've been friends for long enough that we kind of know what we're going to say.
We're both on the same wavelength, usually.
Yeah. And so it's not that it's weird. Anyone can do this. As you get to know whatever it is, then you start anticipating the response.
Yeah. And it's not like your house is physically talking to you. It's not a physical voice. It's kind of like your voice in your head.
So that being said, we're not crazy.
Promise we're not crazy.
But what this allows you to do is it allows you to start creating a relationship with your home. And as you do that, your home is actually a reflection of who you are as an individual. Now,
we were placed on this earth too. We are masters of our world, and it is our responsibility to take responsibility of the things around us. We have our own little universe in our little homes that we are in charge of, that we are masters of, and that's part of our journey here, is to learn how to master those areas, and this is one way that you can do it.
Yeah. So what we started doing is, with this relationship, we started asking, well, how do you feel about this? And we've related it to the chakras because if you understand chakras, maybe we need to explain that a little bit. There are 7 main chakras in your energy. And so each one is aligned with a different type of energy. So the first one is your root chakra. That's your survival. It has to do with food, water, shelter.
The basic needs of life.
Exactly. And then your sacral, which is just around your navel, is having to do with creation. So it's the I feel, I create, I...
Self-expression.
Self-expression. So, and some of these overlap a little bit.
That they make sense for me.
So they overlap a little bit, but their main focus are the ones that we're trying to bring in as we understand them and as we go forward. The next would be your solar plexus. And what's really neat about this is, as we go along, you can actually look on the internet and you can find all sorts of resources for chakras, and you can start implementing them as we go. But this gives you a jumping off point and a space to start from. And then if you want to learn more, we have a follow-up program. This is our introduction program. Yep. So you'll be able to access that, but you will also be able to learn regardless of where you're going.
Yes. So. And you'll also have a starting point to go to too. So.
Yeah. So sacral is I do. It's the one that kind of balances everything. It's the one that takes care of everything. It's the I do energy, right?
I remember this one.
Next would be the heart chakra. So right over your heart is where it's located. And it has to do with love with your relationships, whether it's, a long-time relationship or a new one, or
how you feel love, the way you feel love, all of that.
Yes. Then I speak.
Throat chakra.
This is Krista's favorite.
It's my favorite. I know this one because I have to work on it a lot. But it's all about being able to express yourself and being able to give yourself a voice, and also being able to have other people understand that voice and hear it.
And hear it the way you want it to be heard.
Very specific.
So, and then I perceive, it's the third eye. So I love this one because who I am is not necessarily who you think I am. And sometimes there's that saying from high school, I am not who you think I am. I am not who I think I am. I am who I think you think I am. Yeah. And it's really intense, and we'll go into that later, but that's probably my favorite, is that perceive experience where you get to decide what's actually going on in your relationships and your outward expression of how people see you. Yeah. And finally, your crown chakra, which is all about understanding. Yes, it is a crown, and I do that.
Every time. It's beautiful. She always goes third eye and crown.
You'll see it. So the crown, I'm going to own it.
That's right, you own it. It's my favorite part of the whole thing, is when you go like this. So.
The crown chakra is all about your relationship with your higher power and comprehending how amazing and how valuable you truly are. And it's a beautiful thing when you can step into that zone and recognize that power within. So with each of these, we have assigned specific rooms. And like we said before, there's overlap.
Yeah, and some of the rooms, and like sections of it will apply to a certain chakra, or like depending on the way your house is set up, how many rooms you have and stuff like that. It will change where those chakras lie, but it fits generally.
So as a general rule, understand that everyone's home is different, just like every individual is different. It's okay. It's not going to screw anything up. We just want to give you guidelines, and then you go in and you get to talk to your home, and you get to learn what this actually means to your home and to yourself. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to talk about, let's go through the rooms. Okay. First room with the root chakra would be related to your basement.
Your foundation. I love this one too because I love foundations. This one just makes me happy. Yeah. Your foundation, your basement.
This is rooted to your survival. A lot of people talk about grounding, and we'll get more into that when we actually talk about the root chakra.
Yeah, when we get into the root chakra.
But you want to talk about survival, you want to talk about food, you want to talk about the core
needs of your house.
Needs of your
and
home.
What makes your house function as a house. Yeah. So that's why it's the basement and the foundation together, is because your foundation holds up your house and keeps it from blowing away. It's important.
It is important. Sacral, we're going to talk about how it's an expression of who you are. And so how do you express yourself? Do you have a sewing room? Do you have a paint room?
I love painting rooms. Toy rooms are a great place for these because that's where your kids express themselves if you have children. And woodworking rooms, anything like that.
So some of you are going to be wondering, well, how do I get my spouse involved in this? Because a lot of who we're talking to are women. Yeah. It doesn't limit to your house. You're doing what you're already doing, but you just incorporated this, and you're going to help the energy of that room just enforce the energy that's already there and make it stronger and brighter.
And one thing about too is like the last one's the crown chakra. See, now I'm going to start doing it. I'm just going to go like this all the time. It's the crown chakra. But the crown chakra is also about unity. There's a unity in it. So as you do it, you're incorporating your spouse, your husband, things you do. If you're united with your husband in it, it's going to come out that way when you start adjusting things and aligning things. It's going to be in unity.
Yes. All right, so we're going to speed through these a little bit faster. solar plexus. So that's where you do, like where you get ready to do. And so that's like your bathrooms, your doorways even. So going out because you're going to do something. It's that action energy. And so, did you have something to add?
No.
Okay. So it's the action energy. So your bathrooms, if you have a vanity, it's that space where you're getting ready for the day. Heart. Okay, I love the heart chakra. So much fun. So have you ever heard the expression that the heart
is your home?
Yeah.
Yeah, the heart of your home.
Yeah. And so a lot of people will say, oh, that's my living room, that's my kitchen. I like to focus it in the kitchen because that's where my family interacts the most, is in my kitchen.
Yeah, so this is one of those ones too that's going to be kind of different for everybody, but it's like it's where you gather your family, where you gather together. So like the dining room table is one, the living room, the family room, those kind of places. But I think it's different for everybody where they gather their family with the most.
So what we'll do is we'll focus on specific spaces and how we understand it and how we have done it in our homes, but understand that you can personalize this to you in any way you want. These are guidelines, and if your home is set up a little bit differently, that's okay. That's a different energy because you're a different person than us. Huh, go figure.
Crazy individuality is crazy.
Throat. Do you want to do this one?
I love the throat chakra, yes. It has to do with your hallways and your communication devices around the house. So you want them clear and understandable and easy to communicate.
Yeah. So making sure that your devices are clear and that they aren't taking up extra energy that you need to be able to use to express yourself to the people who are actually in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's too crowded, it doesn't work very well. Like if your communication avenues are very crowded and overloaded, it doesn't come across well.
It's true. I had like 4 text messages and some instant messages come in, and then my daughter was like climbing all over my lap, and I was like, hang on, I just got to finish this. And then I thought, crap. And
it's gone.
It's gone. And I was like, I'm so sorry, Caitlin.
We all have a max, and like once you hit your max, then you have to reevaluate where you're at. But so that's the throat chakra.
Third eye. This is your intuition and your ability to find self-realization. So this is wherever you're going to study, because that's going to help you become more.
Yeah.
Anytime you learn something, it doesn't matter if it was something that you learned on the street. My grandpa always said, I went to the school of hard knocks. And he did. But he was an impressive individual. And he never stopped learning. So
there's also like, it's not just like secular learning either. It's any learning that you do, your spiritual learning, where you gather to do those kind of things too.
Yeah, so if you are a scripture family, a prayer family, the spaces that you use are going to be important for that third eye. They're going to enhance that area. So you want to make sure that it's supportive of that.
Yeah.
So if you're someone who needs to sit at a table to learn math, then you probably got to be sitting at a table to study your scriptures.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Because my kids, if we're not sitting at a table, they're like wandering around and they found 10 more toys. And where did that come from?
That's so true, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
I do the same thing with my kids. I didn't even realize that we have to be at the counter. We do it at I have an island thing, and so we do it on the stools at the counter, and I have to look them in the eye across the counter to focus so we can get through 12 spelling words. But that's where he does it the best. If he's anywhere else, my son, he's all over the place. Like, so true.
So that energy is actually supporting him in learning his spelling words. Yeah. Because it's at the counter, it's designated, and that energy knows exactly what it's supposed to do there. It doesn't, like, if he tries to do it in the front room, it doesn't work because it doesn't have that focused energy.
Yeah.
So if you have kids who are struggling in school, pick a space and have them study there consistently every time. And that space in your home will actually start supporting that learning.
Yeah.
Crown.
It's the crown chakra.
So this has to do with like your vents even. I absolutely love how it allows for the clean air. So it's that flow and that circulation and that movement, because your relationship with your higher power should constantly be moving and growing. And if it's not, then you want to ask why, because that's actually going to stagnate where you're going if you are not constantly having movement.
Yeah. So, and this also has to do with like your master bedroom where you and your significant other are united. And what was the other one?
You're going to ask me now.
Yes, I am. I am asking.
So it was the master bedroom.
I just remember the master bedroom. Let's face it, that's the one I remembered. So
it's the fun one. We didn't say that. Let's see. It also has to do with your relationship with your higher power. So those study areas, one of the spaces that I attribute to my crown chakra would be my mantle, where I have like my pictures of Christ and things like that. Not your TVs, guys.
Yeah.
If that's the center point, you may want to
problem.
reevaluate the energy that's allowing in your home. I was just talking with a client last night, and someone had told her that she had the most loving home they'd ever been in. And she says, it was so funny because after they left, they messaged me and they said, I noticed you didn't have a TV. And she says, and I very specifically have done that because she says, I have a theater room, but I don't have a TV in my house except for in the master bath or bedroom where my husband will watch it. But I will not have that in my next home, which I thought was interesting.
Ooh, that is interesting.
So we're not saying to get rid of your TVs. I have my own, but
I have two.
Recognize your...
And I would have another one, just saying.
But recognize the energy that is putting into your space,
yes,
and make sure that it is managed appropriately.
Yeah.
So that is all 7 chakras.
Yep.
And
that's a lowdown right there.
So it's a lot of information if you want to start from there. We're excited to show you what's on the next one.